Okay, we are live on Facebook and we are recording on recording as well. So welcome to the 6th session of Vedic Hymns for ages 8 and up with Machine Learning Interludes. So in the last session, last month, we covered, I believe this one, r-dva-udait Purusha Pados yeha bhavat punaha tato vishwanyakramat sasanasana abhi. So this is what we covered, I think. Right? Yeah, this is what we covered last time. So we saw how God exists even in non-living things. The key evidence is given in the Narasimha avatar, right? Because Narasimha comes out of a pillar, which is non-existing.
Because Prahlada says God is everywhere, and then Hiranyakashipu gets mad and says everywhere, even inside this pillar, and then Prahlada says yes, it is even inside this pillar, and then Hiranyakashipu smashes the pillar, and then Narasimha comes out.
Yeah. So so that kind of indicates that God is everywhere, even in non-living things, and God is life, right? God is the essence of life. So if God can come out of a what we consider as non-living thing,
everything is living.
Everything is living, right? The life came out of what we consider as non-living.
And we also talked about the 7 below lokas and the 7 above lokas.
That's right. So we talked about all those things, and then we talked about how it relates to the current call for saving the environment and all that, right?
Does the 7 lokas like underneath and the 7 lokas above, do they have anything to do with like Seti come up and then Nisa?
Yeah, that's a good thing.
A lot of things are in 7s and 12s.
Yeah, there are a lot of things that are in 7s, and the numbers play a big role. It is very interesting, right? We talked about Fibonacci numbers in one of the previous classes. Remember, what are the Fibonacci numbers? 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, right? 1 plus 1. So the first two numbers are 1 and 1. The third number would be 1 plus 1. The last two numbers.
Then 1 plus 2 is 3.
Then
2 plus 3 is 5. 8. Then
right.
13.
So we talked about Fibonacci numbers, right? So do you know something? The petals of flowers. Where is it? Okay. Are in Fibonacci numbers.
Really?
Yeah. Number of petals in
Rose?
Roses have tons of petals.
What is that family of flowers?
Daisy, iris,
Sunflower?
Yeah, sunflower family.
5.
So it is 5, but
5 is a Fibonacci number, right?
5 is the Fibonacci number. But how about the others?
Daisy.
Okay, daisy.
The daisy is the one that they use in the temple.
And then
The one
tulip.
color one. How many petals does a daisy have?
5 to 7 layers of petals.
Then how many are in each layer?
It is not giving, but actually the number of petals in the flowers are in Fibonacci sequence.
So there's a flower with 1, a flower with 3, a flower with 5.
That's right.
8.
Yes.
Wait, there's a flower with only 1 petal?
Okay, maybe not 1, but.
So series of numbers. Let's see. 55, 89.
3, 5, 8.
Where do you see that?
Over there. Leaf number 3, 5, 8.
Oh yeah.
Fibonacci numbers and golden section in nature.
Oh yeah, it is there. See. are flower petals in Fibonacci sequence. For example, lilies, daisies, buttercups, and rose are all Fibonacci flowers.
So
That's
any
So the world itself is like that. The other example is pine cone.
Oh,
Pine cone, you know pine cone, right?
yeah.
You used to collect them when you were small, I think, right? So these ones, pine cones, the numbers,
There used to be tiny pine cones with 3.
pine cone numbers.
But why?
See,
Why?
the resulting numbers are usually 2 consecutive Fibonacci numbers. Find a pine cone and look it from the bottom. Count the number of spirals going from the center of the cone to the outside edge. Count the spirals in both directions. The resulting numbers are usually 2 consecutive Fibonacci numbers. See, the nature is so tied up, so tied to math. Everything is in numbers, right? So
But-
numbers play a very important role.
There's a theory called M theory that there's other universes that have different rules of physics and matter and stuff. Would these same things still apply?
There is another world.
Well, according to a theory called M theory, there are infinite universes and more being created this very moment. And those universes have different laws of matter and physics and everything. Would this, and there could be other living creatures, would the Purusha Suktam and everything else still apply?
We don't know. I don't, this is the first time I'm hearing about this M theory. We have to see. Unless we study, we cannot comment. But yeah, it is very possible that math and the Vedas, whatever is there in knowledge in the Vedas, might apply universally. But in fact, that is the next sloka.
Doesn't that kind of connect why there's so many Brahmas?
So many Brahmas?
Well, in some kind of show we watched, so basically,
There are
Krishna's talking to Brahma and like kind of scolding. He says, like, you are Brahma and you only take care of one universe. There are so many other universes out there, and you only take care of one.
And there's so many other Brahmas too.
Yeah, there are a lot of stories like that. Some of them contradict or conflict with some other stories. But we'll accept what is generally accepted. We'll try to discuss only that is generally accepted, right? So, in fact, the next sloka that we are going to cover is about Brahma. So this is the 5th sloka or 5th verse of the Purusha Suktam, and it goes like this: Tasmad vira-dva-udait virajo adhipurushaha sajato acharichyata paschad bhumi madhopuraha. In English, Tasmad vira-dva-udait virajo adhipurushaha sajato acharichyata paschad bhumi ato puraha. So what does it mean? From him, the Purusha, was born the Virat.
What's a vira?
Virat is a very huge thing, a magnificent, magnanimous, magnificent, huge entity. So it could mean the universe, or it could mean the lotus.
Lotus has many petals.
No, lotus, just look at the remaining meaning and you will know for yourself. And from Virat, the shining Purusha, Brahma, who became the creator, came out.
Oh, is it why we call Lord Vishnu Padmanabha?
Yeah. So So that's the first sentence, first line of the verse. And the second line is, he, Brahma, grew very large and created the earth by manifesting the earth from his own being as substratum, and then the bodies of the mortal creatures.
What's a substratum?
Substratum is something inside, a layer inside. So, okay, let us look at the words. Tasmat. Tasmat means from him.
That which.
Yeah, that which are from, something like that. Tasmat means from that. In this context, it means from that. And it is understood, who is Tasmat? The great Purusha, right? The great Purusha. Tasmat virada jayata. Virada means virata. It's magnificent. Yeah, virat means magnificent, gigantic, huge. So from Tasmat virada jayata. Jayata means, ja means praja. Ja means being born. So jayata means he was born from. So the virata was born from the Purusha. That's what this first word means. Virajo adhipurushaha. Virajo adhipurushaha means
Virat is
from
Viraja.
Yeah, from Viraja. Adhipurushaha means came out
Purusha.
the Adhipurusha. So Adhipurusha in this sense might mean Brahma. We have to think that somebody who came out of the Virat. Sajato atyarichyata. Sajato means, ja again means being
Janma.
born. Yeah, janma, being born. Sa means him, from him. So sajato, or rather, sa means, saha means he, right? So sajato means he was born. Atyarichyata. Ati arichyata means, ati means what? Too much, right? Ati means more. So ati,
Unusually large.
yeah. So ati arichyata means unusually large, growing very large, extending.
Is Ati like how in Telugu we say Ati Telvi?
Right, exactly. That's right. Atyarichyata means he grew very large and extended. Paschat means after that, or in front of that. Bhumi means
The world. Or
the earth, right? And Puraha, Ato Puraha. Puraha means Singapore. What are the other pores that you know? Singapore. Do you know any other pore? Singapore. In India, there are many pores.
Does it mean city?
Pur means city. Pura means city.
Oh.
So Singapura means actually the city of lions.
Oh, is that why there's that like?
Yeah,
Merlion.
Merlion. Yeah. So
Like
Pura.
Tripura? Tripura. Tripur.
Yeah, Tripura means 3 cities. So Pura means city, but in this case it means body, because our body is like a city, right? That's where we dwell. The soul dwells in the body. So what this means is, I mean, this is again an interpretation. Interpretations can vary, but one interpretation is from the Purusha, who is Vishnumurti or Narayana, was born the Virat. Virat could be the lotus or the universe. And from the Virat, from the universe or the lotus, came out the shining Purusha, who is Brahma. And he became the creator. and Brahma grew very large. The second sentence, Sajato Atyarichyata, means Brahma grew very large. Paschat Bhumi means created the earth from himself. He created the earth from himself. And
then the place that you dwell.
And then he also, along with, after the earth, he also created the bodies where the people reside, the souls reside, basically. So that is a sequence of our creation. First is the Purusha. Purusha always existed. And from Purusha came out the Virat. Virat could mean the universe or the lotus, right?
Or both.
Yeah, or both. And from the Virat came Brahma. And Brahma became the creator. How did he create? He became very large. And then from that large entity, I mean, he himself was a large entity. And from that entity, he created the earth. And then he created the bodies where the souls would reside. So he combined Prakriti and Purusha and created the world. He himself came out of the Purusha, right? He himself came out of the Purusha, and he used Purusha and Prakriti to create various creatures, various other creatures. So this also indicates that earth is also life. So everything that is created by God has life. That's what this means. So it's a combination of Prakriti, which means nature, and Purusha, which means God. Everything in the world is a combination of Prakriti and Purusha. And that was done by Brahma. So the story goes that Brahma, when he came into existence, in fact, he is considered the first mortal creation. What does mortal mean?
Like on earth.
No, mortal means somebody who has death. So Brahma is supposed to disappear at the end of the yuga, end of the universe. When the universe goes away, Brahma also will go away.
Because the universe is part of it.
Yeah. So Brahma will also go away. See, universe is called Brahmanda. So Anda means egg. So Brahmanda means the egg from which Brahma came. You can think of it like that. So this sloka kind of relates to that, right? Virajo Adipurusha means from the Brahmanda. If we consider Virat as a universe, Virajo Adipurusha means from where he came out. I mean, he came out from Virat. So Brahma, so that's the reason why the universe is called Brahmanda. So the story goes that he is the first mortal. So he will disappear with the universe. When the universe disappears after billions and billions of years, Brahma is also supposed to disappear, and he will reappear again in the same fashion he appeared before. So it's like a cycle. The whole thing goes on like a cycle. The whole thing, every phenomena in this world is cyclic in nature. Things repeat, right? So it is said that Brahma will disappear with the universe and then reappear again. The same cycle will go on and on and on and on forever. And it will take billions and billions of years for this to happen, for the universe to disappear and Brahma to disappear as well, and then reappear.
Where will everyone go when the universe does disappear?
It will go back to where it came from. Where did it come from?
Virat.
No, where did Virat come from?
Purusha.
Purusha. So it will go back to Purusha.
So everything on the planet?
Yeah.
And the planet itself.
Not just a planet, the universe, the whole universe will disappear.
So the people
into-
there will go to God too?
Yeah,
Oh, that's
they'll
nice.
go to Purusha, they'll dissolve in Purusha.
Is
The
it
good
like
people to Atoloka.
Everyone will
bad
go
people.
into the Purusha.
even bad people?
The
Yeah,
bad people will
everyone.
go to Atoloka and the good people will go
Yeah,
to
because Purusha is in all the lokas, right? So that's the idea. So the story goes that Brahma, when he came into existence, he didn't know what to do. He was just expanding, and he didn't know what to do. Then somebody reminded him why he was idle. Then he said he didn't know what to do. Then the person, I think it's a rishi or something. So he was advised, Brahma was advised to meditate upon the Purusha, Vishnumurti, from where he came from. So he did meditation and some yoga, some yajna. And after doing that yajna and meditation, he learned how to create. And it seems he was sloppy. I mean, he did some mistakes in the beginning in the creation. So, but he improved with time.
like what?
That's what. So this creation is not perfect, right? So there's a lot of imperfections. So he improved with time. That's what they say.
Is he still working on it?
Yeah, probably. And Brahma is also considered as a guna. There are three gunas, right? What are the three gunas?
Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna.
Yeah, he's considered one of those gunas. He is kind of considered as the god representing the Rajoguna.
Wouldn't that be Indra though?
So yeah, I mean, multiple people can have multiple gunas, but Brahma is considered Rajoguna, and his wife Saraswati Devi, who is the goddess for learning,
Sattva.
is considered Sattva Guna.
Wait, but why is he Rajo guna?
Because he's full of action, he's creating, he's
Oh.
constantly creating, right? So he's representative of Rajoguna.
Karma.
And then he made mistakes also, Rajoguna mistakes, right?
The mistakes are usually accidents.
No,
Yeah. Huh?
becoming
Mistakes
proud.
are,
Mistakes are usually accidents.
it's not accident. I mean, you make mistakes without, when you don't have enough knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just by accident. Sometimes lack of knowledge, lack of a lot of things. Rajoguna is not perfect. So,
Sattva guna is blissfulness, Rajo guna is anger and proudishness, and Tamo guna is laziness, right?
yeah, Tamoguna is laziness. Rajoguna is action, passion, attachment. So all those things are Rajoguna. And the other thing is, what is the meaning of Brahma? We talked about it before, right?
Expanding mind.
Yeah, Brah means expanding. Man means mind. So expanding mind. So Brahman means expanding mind. So Brahma is ever expanding. So if you look at the creation, his creation, we are all part of Brahma. Now we know, right? So Brahma created earth from himself. And after that, he created people like us from himself. And Brahma himself came from the Purusha. So we are all from Brahma, basically. And his nature is ever expanding. We are all expanding in one way or the other. See, we all grow, right? Throughout, everything grows in this world. Everything, the universe has been growing, and it will grow forever, for infinity. Right? If you look at if you see the growth of universe, so if you just search here, how about population? How do you think the population is growing?
By hour?
A lot.
Growth
Hour is a
with
lot.
time. Population growth with time. So if you see this, Okay, let us
Wow.
try this. So population in the world is growing at the rate of 1.5%.
That's a lot.
Yeah. So if you look at the population growth, so it was, so from the, this, I think this is from the AD, right?
Yeah.
So this is 700, 380, 485. The growth was not that much. But as you started reaching 1700, the growth started rapidly increasing, exponentially increasing actually. So from 1700,
by 2000, it was
and
super
if you
high.
look at 1920, the growth started really rapidly increasing.
Oh, wow. We barely had any before.
Yeah, so it's rapidly increasing. The growth is still there, but the growth is slowly slowing down. It's not that much.
No.
So the growth in 1968, it was 2.09%, and now it is 1.05%. So it
That's
is,
good.
it is reducing. The growth rate itself is reducing.
That's good. We have 7 billion people on our.
Yeah, and if you look at the population, yeah, 7. So
This is
this
a
is
year.
7 billion. Yeah, 7 billion. Right now it is 7 billion. So if you look at year-wise, they're projecting that by 2050, the population will go up to 9 billion. So it is expanding. You see, the life is expanding, right? And how about the universe itself?
Billion. Oh, wow.
Expansion with time. The universe is also expanding all the time, infinitely. Expansion of the universe. Any other good links?
We learned about the universe always expanding, and even beyond the universe, it's expanding. New ones are being created every second.
Yeah. Expansion of the universe. The timeline is the schematic diagram extends the Big Bang inflation era 13.7 billion years ago to the present cosmological time. So if you look at the expansion, accelerated expansion. So initially it was, the universe came with a Big Bang. You all know that, right?
Big Bang Theory.
Yeah. So that is what our Vedas also say. The Vedas say that this sloka, what does this sloka say? Tasmat virada jayata virajo adhipurusha. So this is kind of the same thing being explained here, right? In the sloka, the Big Bang Theory. The universe came into the Virat, or the universe came into existence all of a sudden with a Big Bang, and it started expanding. That is what your Big Bang Theory also says. But the Big Bang Theory, when was this invented? When was Big Bang Theory invented?
In the 1800s, I think.
When was Big Bang Theory discovered? Not invented, discovered. 1931.
Oh, wow.
And our Vedas are from?
3000 BC?
Yeah, something like that. Thousands of years back. So, so the Big Bang Theory was invented in the starting idea was in 1931. But our Vedas told the same thing many years ago.
We've had some things that I realize are repeating. Is that we're finding out that the Vedas and the Vishnu Sahasranam and the Mahabharata and the Purusha Sukta all have theories that are later found out, but much later. And also I realized that in Bhagavad Gita we talked about how you can find the answer to all of your problems in the Bhagavad Gita, I also realized that you can also relate everything that we're talking about right now to the shlokas that we're learning. Like we were talking about Brahma and the universe, and then you said that the next shloka is actually about Brahma and the universe.
Yeah.
That's one thing I see in common in all of the shlokas that we learned.
Could Brahma have made us like have 5 mouths and 3 eyes and like no noses?
Yeah, there are animals like
If they
that.
wanted him to, if we wanted to.
Yeah. If you wanted to, probably.
There probably are animals.
Yeah. So this is, it's ever expanding. In 13.7 billion years, it expanded from this small dot to this very large.
Oh, wow.
And the sun is.
And it is still expanding. It is still expanding.
Well then, wait, when Brahma is getting like, wait, so when the universe like disappears, does it just disappear like really quickly, like without even shrinking down?
Can you come closer? Yeah.
Did it disappear like without shrinking down, or did it shrink down little by little by little, and then when after a long time, it wasn't there anymore? Like it
Yeah,
shrank
it
too
will get
much.
dissolved into the same way it came about. It will go back into Purusha, the same way it came. So it'll just travel back in time. See, the very word Brahma means expanding, and Brahma is a creator, and Brahma, universe is Brahmanda. So these words were given many thousands of years back, Brahmanda, Brahma. So people knew that time itself that the universe expands many years back, right? So that's the thing. So the universe, everything, this creation itself is constantly expanding. Population grows, the universe expands infinitely, our mind grows, we keep on inventing newer and newer things. So our mind, our heart and soul, they're all meant to expand, just like Brahma, because we are all part of Brahma. Right? Brahma means expanding. So they are made to expand. So if you contract them, if you go against their nature, then you will feel bad. That is when you will feel sorrowness. As long as your mind is expanding, as long as your heart is expanding, as long as your soul is expanding. So how do you expand your soul? See, it is said that the seers, who are like the gurus, their soul expands, their soul spreads the entire room. So you go to, why do people crave to meet big people, great people?
Because their aura carries
The
around.
aura, you know that, right? That aura is basically the soul. So the soul, the aura is ever expanding. The more knowledge you acquire, the more good deeds you do, the more good thoughts you put in your mind, your soul keeps on expanding. On the other hand, you practice hatred, you practice what else is it? Greed, you practice selfishness, the aura contracts. The soul
Because you're
contracts.
focusing more on yourself. You're not letting it spread at all.
Exactly. You're pulling it towards yourself. You're pulling towards yourself. So whereas when you're selflessly serving, it expands. When you're selfishly pulling it to yourself, you're contracting. You're going against the laws of Brahma, the creation, the creator. So that's what causes sorrowness. So our goal is to keep on expanding. the soul will get richer, larger, you'll accumulate a huge aura. Similarly, you can expand heart. How do you expand heart? How
By
do you have a
being
big heart?
Good.
Yeah, be
Kind.
more kind, compassionate, practice compassion. So these are what helps your heart to grow also, right? So compassion, kindness. So these will help your heart grow. And when these happen, your mind also starts getting newer and newer ideas. Your mind also grows. You will automatically get newer ideas from nowhere. Don't you think so? You'll become very creative. How is somebody creative? They get ideas from nowhere, right? That's how they become
They
creative.
create.
Yeah. So that's when that means when you create, your mind is expanding. Brahman, expanding mind.
Is that why asking questions is good? Because
Yeah, right. You create questions, asking questions and discovering answers, researching. That is what is called researching, right? So research is all about expansion, expanding the horizons, pushing the envelope, pushing the bounds of creativity, thinking about newer and newer things. And what helps Brahman, who is Brahman's wife? Saraswati Devi, knowledge, learning. So learning, when married to creativity, you flourish.
But if you know everything, you don't have any questions, right?
That's what is the thing, right? Universe is huge, but it is still expanding. Just like that, even if you know everything,
there's still more.
There's still more. It keeps on expanding. That is the whole idea. So you think that you know everything that exists, that's there to know at this time. The next second it will expand. That horizon will expand. Everything is expanding in this universe. Everything. There's nothing that contracts. Right? When you try to,
even we expand from when we're little.
Yeah, we expand. Our bodies expand. Our bodies expand. So everything expands in this world. But we have the power to go against it also. So that is the flaw in God's creation, right? So we have the power to go against the tide. And that's when sorrowness happens. That's when people become sorrow. When you start contracting, when your heart starts contracting, your mind starts contracting, that's when, see, in India, I watched a movie, right? People keep on accumulating money, doing all bad things for money. So one day, the hero of the movie, he asked the bad guy, so how much money would you have accumulated? That guy says some crores. How many, what are your needs? He tells his needs. What do you do every day? And in a month, what do you do? What are your extra needs in a year? He tells all those needs. How much do all these count to? How much money do you need for all these needs? He says some 3 lakhs, 10 lakhs or something like that. Then how much more do you plan to earn? He says, I will keep on earning. What will you do with the money? He says, I never thought all these things. I just thought that we have to just get money. And I've been doing all bad things to get money. Same thing with grades, right? Students simply blindly copy, plagiarize, do all sorts of things for grades. But what use are the grades when there is no knowledge? You're not going to use your GPA anywhere, right? You're not going to write G or GPA when you apply to jobs. I mean, if it is good, if it's like 4.0, then yeah, you can, but it's not required. So what use is it to get to do all these bad things and contract your soul, become selfish? So nobody thinks, right? So that is the fallacy there. We should always try to expand our mind, our heart, and our soul all the time. Do things that expand your soul. Do things that expand your mind. So research, teaching, talking to people in intellectual talks.
So that's why social skills is good.
Yeah, social skills.
But my coronavirus is so terrible.
Yeah, coronavirus is another natural happening, because people became greedy and they started doing things. So the nature has some mechanisms to bring things to control. So the goal is to expand and keep on thinking positive things. Don't think about, don't get negativity into your mind. Try to stay in the positive realm, right? That's what this sloka kind of, you can interpret this sloka to be. So Brahma means creation, and Brahma means expanding, all the time expanding. Creation is expanding. Creativity is what expands your mind, your soul, this universe. See, why is this population increasing? Can you guess? Why is the population? So we saw the population, right? Universe, of course, it's a divine phenomena. We can't do anything. We have no control. But how about population expansion?
Because people are trying to have more kids than they're supposed to.
And each.
In fact, these days, people are trying not to have kids with all the family control and all that stuff. So why do you think the population started expanding around 1900 something?
Because there's more space.
No, the inventions. People started inventing medicines. People started inventing.
And now nobody dies.
Yeah, the lifespan has increased. Okay, let us look at the lifespan.
Oh, yeah. It used to be like 60 something years. Now it's like 70 to 80.
I heard that in Hawaii, people live longer. They live until like 83 or 85.
Yeah, the life expectancy varies, but yeah, see this?
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Life expectancy grew in 1900. It was, for some countries, I don't know, for Africa, the life expectancy was less than 30 years in Africa.
And now it's like 70 something.
Yeah, now it's like 70, 60, some, yeah, close to 70. And so this is.
It used to be like 35 years.
Yeah, now it is 78, 77. So lifespan is increasing. Why? Because of inventions. They are inventing good things, lot of good things, medicines, they're in comforts. Comfort level is growing.
But they also made some bad things.
Yeah, but still on an average, it is still expanding, right? So the goal is to expand. The nature of creation is to expand. Brahma. So in English, the word is creativity. But in Sanskrit is Brahma, expanding. Right? So our Vedas have a lot of knowledge built in, or language, even Sanskrit. It has a lot of knowledge built in already in it. Right? So, so the greatest invention that is pushing the envelope today is artificial intelligence, right? So machine learning, in the form of machine learning. So let us spend some time on machine learning.
Because if machines are programmed, then they hardly ever make mistakes.
Yeah.
No car crashes.
Yeah.
Less car crashes.
Yeah, less car crashes. And then imagine one of the boring and riskiest things that people do is to drive, because we never know what's going to happen the next second. Somebody might just cut in front of you, and then there could be an accident, right? So and machine learning is helping to take that task away from you and make things,
But-
make things safer.
But every single person has to have a machine learning car.
Okay, then what about
Yeah.
prosthetics? Prosthetics use artificial intelligence, don't they?
Yeah, a lot of
Mm,
stuff,
sure.
lot of good things are happening. In fact, we'll try to cover, actually, let us do that. So we talked about uh, life expectancy and all, right? So machine learning is increasingly being used for social causes. So for instance, you take Africa. So you saw that the life expectancy is the lowest in Africa among all other countries, all other continents or countries, right? So Africa is pushing in a big way for artificial intelligence and machine learning. So artificial intelligence today is mostly machine learning. It was a small part of machine learning was a small part of artificial intelligence a few years ago, but now it's almost synonymous with artificial intelligence.
So these are their goals from most prioritized to least
Right.
prioritized?
Right. Yeah, this probably is prioritized. I'm not very sure. But Africa as a continent came up with this kind of a plan to implement. So they
Where are
want
they
to
now?
use, huh?
Where are they now?
So this is 2030. This is agenda till 2030 for sustainable development. So they want to apply AIML for machine learning. This AI means artificial intelligence, ML is machine learning, right? So they want to use it for eradicating poverty, poorness, homelessness. They are trying to use AIML to remove hunger, health, quality education.
America does some of those things too, right? Public schools, public hospitals, soup kitchens, and they give shelters.
Yeah, but Africa has that big in agenda. AIML is big in agenda. So that's how AIML is expanding the horizons.
But how does AI and machine learning help with poverty and hunger and health?
That is, you have to think about it. When somebody
Okay.
thinks for a long time, you'll get solutions.
Wait, how can it help? How can machines help with hunger?
So with hunger, you have to think. You have to keep on thinking.
They can make crops. Like instead of farmers farming crops, they can farm crops.
Yeah, you can apply machine learning for agriculture. I'm going to talk about it in the next slide, a few slides after this. So if you grow more, your hunger also will disappear, and you can use artificial intelligence or machine learning for distributing food. Right, know where the demand is and where the supply is, and match the demand with the supply. So there are many ways you have to think. So these are the problems. So they identified the problems, and when somebody keeps on thinking about those problems, they'll get the solution. So that is the idea of research. So they want to apply machine learning and artificial intelligence in all these areas: peace, justice, and strong institutions, partnerships, and all that stuff. So let us look at healthcare, right? So Carnegie Mellon University is one of the top universities in data science, right? They have an ambitious list of projects in healthcare. So what can machine learning do for the healthcare industry? Can you tell me?
You can look for cures.
Okay, it can look for cures.
Like for the generative, discriminative, they can tweak it a little bit to make the discriminative look at cures for other diseases, and then the generative can keep on making things while the discriminator shows how to improve it.
Okay. Yeah. So Yeah, that is one idea, which hasn't taken off, I think. I don't think anyone has done that yet. But yeah, that is a possibility. You have to investigate that. But what else can we do? So one thing is, you're right,
Research.
drugs, coming up with new drugs, vaccines, right? So that is where it can help. And what else?
Well, it can help with if they make like robots and AI robots and stuff, they can perform surgeries and other things
Right.
that other doctors might fail or mess up.
Robot, yeah, robot-based surgeries. That's right. And what else?
And
Come closer.
I forgot.
Oh, and they can do checkups, like basic checkups, yearly checkups.
And like if
Analyze.
humans, so if someone's in pain, the robots might be able to bring the human person to the doctors faster, or like report to the doctors, or like if there's
Or
one
even test
person
them.
in a lonely house and then all of a sudden they get something wrong with them, then the robot will know how to help, like they can call the doctors or something.
Okay. Okay, that can also
Like
happen.
an Apple Watch.
Yeah,
if
Apple
something
Watch.
happens, then it calls
Yeah,
the police.
yeah, it can call the police or the doctors and whoever it is. And what else? So what did we? Yeah.
Basically, almost everything that a doctor does, or anything in the healthcare industry, it can help you online. It can be an the things that you talk to on the phone. It can be one of those. It can even test you for things like it can do a COVID test or give flu shots and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you think about machine learning, right? So what did we use machine learning for? For some, we covered some examples, right?
Mainly for creating and for discriminating things.
And what else?
Sorting and
Creating and discriminating.
And creating things that are like that and learning.
Right. And what else? So for instance, when we talked about support vector machines last class, what did we do? What was the example?
The example was like we had a bunch of features and then one undefined feature, undefined point based on it that was placed based on its features, and we had to see which of two groups can we use, and we look at different methods, lines and 2Ds and 3D graphs.
So can you apply the same thing in health and tell me what can we do like that?
We can, instead of features, we can look at symptoms for disease or whatnot.
Right.
And then we can separate it into multiple diseases, like
right. And what is that process called?
Diagnosing.
Right. So that is the first. That is the first application. Improve accuracy of diagnosis, prognosis, and risk prediction.
Oh.
So you can come up with a bunch of features and tell the risk that the person is running. And then you can also use for diagnosis, any classification, right? Well, so basically what the examples that we covered was classification. You classify a new point as belonging to one class or the other. So in this case, the class is the disease. So based on the features, you tell whether the person is suffering from the disease or not. So that is diagnosis.
Oh, you said there was something called 23andMe that showed how you would look ahead of time. Isn't that also machine learning in healthcare industry?
Yeah, so that is not listed here because Carnegie Mellon is not doing that. But yeah, that is also a good example. That is bioinformatics. So this is for, yeah, that is bioinformatics. Reducing medication errors, modeling and prevent spread of hospital-acquired infections, detection of relevant findings in pathology, discover new medical knowledge, clinical guidelines, and so on. Optimize hospital process such as resource allocation and patient flow. So what is happening these days with COVID? People
aren't coming. The economy is crashing.
The hospital, no, not only that, the hospitals are running out of beds, right? So if you can predict, Yeah, if you can predict the demand,
they can
they can
accommodate.
plan better, right? So that is what um, machine learning can help with. Because what are the two major activities that you can accomplish using machine learning? One is classification, the other is prediction. So you can predict the demand also. So the overall improve the quality of care and population health outcomes, and also reduce the healthcare costs. So when you do all that, that's what will result in. So here's an example of improving the accuracy of diagnosis and risk prediction. So these are the features. Each one of these is a feature. So for instance, HDL, aspirin, if somebody is taking an aspirin, bypass, if the person had a bypass surgery.
What's a bypass?
Bypass surgery means, so the artery which takes blood to the from the heart, if that is blocked, they put an artificial artery bypassing that block.
Oh.
So it's an operation. So these are all the features.
What's ethnic risk?
Ethnic risk is like South Asians are highly at risk for heart disease, like India and Pakistanis,
Is it like how
Bangladesh.
if you're born in India, you're kind of not prone to diseases like malaria and stuff because your parents and their parents are all.
No, the heart disease, yeah, like that, yeah, ethnicity.
So that's opposite.
No, but malaria is a different thing. But heart disease, we are very well prone to heart disease by our ethnicity. South Asians are very prone to heart disease.
Shouldn't they group the kind of similar diseases closer together and then the more distinct diseases farther apart?
Yeah,
that make sense?
Yeah, that you can do that. But in this example, what we are doing is we are capturing all the features to predict whether a person is at risk for heart disease. So these are all the features. What are all the features? Ethnic risk,
physical activity,
HDL, bypass, aspirin, and whether the person is a smoker, age, then diabetic. A1C represents the diabetic level. Then what else is there? Family, CVD, cardio. CVD means cardiovascular disease. So if anyone in your family had a cardiovascular disease,
isn't cardio like
heart? Cardio means heart. Vascular disease means vascules means like arteries, the pipes which carry blood.
They should put that next to bypass.
Yeah. So can you tell me why they did not put it next to bypass?
I don't know. Because it seems like they should. It's basically the same thing.
Because there's some other things that are even more like close than bypass.
But why would?
So what is the difference? There's a line dividing the two, right? So what is the difference between these features? All these.
One is genetic and one isn't.
So all these help to predict the risk of a person for cardiovascular disease, right? For heart disease. So why is that there's a line in between? Can you tell me? Looking at some of the features.
Oh, is it because like some of them are worse than the others?
Yes. Close.
Some of them are more. Some of them are neutral, whether you're whoever you are. And some of them actually matter on who your parents are.
No, all of them matter. That is,
really?
all these features matter. That's why they are all features.
Which ones were popular?
Oh yeah, which ones were common?
No, popularity. You base your decisions about heart disease on popularity.
Like which one's most common?
No. Okay, any other answers? Just look at them. So ethnic risk.
What do the red dots or crosses and the blue subtraction signs stand for?
Those are the data points.
Well, what are they split into? What's red and what's blue?
So yeah, that's the thing, right? So can you tell me what is red and what is blue?
Well, the only thing
So
Okay,
suppose
wait.
somebody takes aspirin every day.
They'd be closer to the aspirin one.
So no, if suppose somebody takes aspirin every day, will it increase the risk or reduce the risk?
Increase.
It will increase the risk.
Aspirin is that
oh,
headache medicine,
Oh,
right?
can I
Yeah.
It'll reduce.
try? My bypass isn't close to the other heart one. Is it because so these are 2 points, like the thingies, and there was one person that was mostly bypass. Then if they put it here, then the computer person looking at the data might think it was the other one. Is that why?
No, see, aspirin is a medicine, right? So if you
Yes.
take medicine, will it put you at a greater risk for heart attack or lesser risk for heart attack?
Lesser.
Does aspirin help heart attack? Because there are some medicines that help with one thing but diminish the other thing.
Yeah, good, good. Okay, how about physical activity? Let us look at physical activity.
That's-
Does
That'll
physical
decrease.
activity mean you do physical activity or
Right.
you don't do physical
You
activity?
do physical activity.
That will help you in every
That'll help
way.
you.
Except it'll make you
And-
sore sometimes. But yeah.
But that's good. You grind.
Right. And how about the other side? With age, will the risk increase or decrease?
Most of the time increase.
Increase. And how about if somebody is a smoker, will it increase or decrease?
Increase most of the
Definitely.
time.
Increase.
Wait, most of the
I mean,
time?
well, yeah, majority.
How about if there is CVD in the family?
That'll increase
Increase.
by a lot.
Increase.
Oh, one is increase and one is decrease.
Yeah, the features above increase the risk and the features below reduce the risk.
Really?
Yeah,
Heart
suppose,
failure reduces the risk?
yes,
Wait.
because if you had a heart failure just recently,
There's a
then
less chance that you're gonna have it again.
then they repair that problem.
Oh, so it's
So
not
you
gonna happen
it's
again.
almost like getting a new life.
Oh, that makes sense.
So all these
What are
are
the other?
so check 2 years, every 2 years medical checkup. If you're doing that,
That's gonna help.
that'll help.
What about
Then
anti-lip?
Then why is a line there?
To
Hmm?
separate the.
To
But
separate
it's not
the-
separated.
It is separating.
Kind
the-
of separated.
It's not
It is
separating
separating the
points,
good
it's
ones.
separating-
Yeah, it's separating the good ones from the bad ones.
Oh,
And these are the people.
then
So,
why?
so the people in red, they are at risk, high risk. Each plus is a person. Each dot is a so blue dots are at less risk for heart attack, whereas red pluses are at higher risk for heart attack.
But what would gender have to do with anything?
Gender indicates the propensity to get heart disease. So if you are a man, then there are more chances of heart disease.
What happens if you're old in age, but you're old in age and you're a man, but you have physical activity and you're doing physical activity and you take aspirin daily?
Yeah,
and
so
then-
that is the reason why you could somewhere here or there, or somewhere in the border.
But that would be really confusing because that's the
What?
same thing as people who don't do any of those things, neither good nor bad. They'd be next to each other, and
That
that's
is the
completely
purpose
different.
of machine learning. See, it's like men and women, right? So just like we divided men and women using a line, straight line, we are dividing the people at risk and people not at risk using a straight line.
Wait, what color would the people be? Like, what symbol would they be if they were normal, neutral? They didn't have.
Blue dot.
Wait, but why are there some outliers, some red in the bottom and some
Remember,
Oh.
machine learning is not 100% perfect.
Huh.
So it might classify some people who are at risk as not at risk
But then
by red.
Then how is machine learning better?
It is not 100% accurate, but still it helps.
Oh,
It still, see,
It
for
is
all
also
these
less
people,
money.
see,
Net
for
money.
all these people, it helped, right? For all these people, it helped. And for all these blue dots, it helped. Only some blue dots on the other side and some red pluses on this side, it doesn't help. Right? But it's a significant help. And see, machine learning also plots the weights for each of the features. Like family CVD, the weight is higher, the circle is bigger. For angina, the circle is smaller.
What thing?
Angina is already a clot.
Oh, you're born with it?
No, some people develop clots. So the risk is there, but the risk is not bad. So
But blood clots are really bad,
No.
especially if they're somewhere closer to your heart.
no, they're not always fatal. You can still live with blood clots.
I don't know that.
Then
You
what's
can.
BMI?
So typically in India these days, aged people are having like 5-6 blocks.
There must
They're
be a lot of
living
arteries.
like that.
Wait, so if they drink a lot of water, will those blood clots go?
Diet more, yeah, water helps, but diet is important. See, all these features, all these are good features.
What's BMI?
BMI is your body mass index. So it's your weight divided by your height.
So if you have a high number, that's bad. Good.
Bad.
Oh,
Suppose you weigh more than your height, then
that's
it is
really
bad.
bad.
Yeah,
you
that is what
supposed
is
to?
BMI.
Are you supposed to weigh less than your height?
Wait, how do you weigh less than your?
So it
Wait.
should be your weight should be about 24 times, 20 to 25 times, between 20 and 25 times your height. If it is
Are
more
you-
than that, you are at risk.
Wait,
you-
your weight should be 20 times your height?
Something like that.
Wait,
Because
what?
if you're 60 inches, 5 foot, then you'd have to be like
So
nearly
BMI,
8 of that.
I don't remember the
1200.
formula for BMI. What is it? Let us look at the formula for BMI. For in,
Wait, but what are you measuring? Inches or centimeters or what?
calculate your BMI.
That was see.
See, overweight is 25 to 29. BMI of obesity is 30 or more. So the feet,
What's
okay, let us say 5 feet. And weight is, say 120,
That's a lot.
120 pounds, compute BMI, 23.5.
23.5 would mean they're normal weight.
Yeah, they're normal weight.
120 pounds.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, adults are 120 pounds.
adults.
But
Not
they're 5
children.
feet.
Yeah,
Yes,
so,
Really short.
A lot of adults are 5 feet.
But that's really
so I
short.
don't know how they compute this, but the formula, I don't remember. Where is the formula? It's not shown here. But anyway, it's computed based on the ratio of weight and height. It's obviously not directly. It is not a direct proportion, right? It's not 120 by 5, obviously, right? Or is it 5? 120 by 5 is how much?
60.
5, 2 and 4, 24. But it is 23.4. I don't know how they compute it, but roughly, it is roughly that. Weight divided by height in feet. So BMI. So BMI is also, these are all weights. The size of the circle indicates the weight of the features, right? See, heart failure, the size is very small because it's not a great predictor. But aspirin daily is a great predictor.
Isn't aspirin like a pain reliever?
It
Wait,
is a
How does
pain
it- wouldn't
reliever,
it hurt
but
your heart?
what it does is it thins the blood. It's a blood thinner. So it makes your blood more watery.
wait,
Oh, and it'll run
Yeah,
flows
it'll
easily.
flow easily.
wait.
Oh.
So physical act, how is physical act so small? Wait, doesn't it matter
Yeah,
how
hit
much you do it? Like if you do one push-up every day, it's not much physical
No, I
act.
mean,
One of my
average.
friend's friend used to spend 45 minutes every day jogging and doing cardio every day, 45 minutes. And when he was 43 or 44, he got a heart attack.
So physical activity isn't good?
It is good, but it is not as good as, say, HDL or aspirin daily.
I thought
Things
physical
like that.
act would be like the best.
It's not enough. Even for weight loss, it doesn't help that much. It helps, it helps, but it's not like it's not a complete savior.
That's why body mass index is this tiny.
Wait,
Yeah.
is
It doesn't help for everyone. Doesn't matter.
is
Yeah. So this is how machine learning helps in diagnosis and
Is-
predicting the risk for heart attack.
Can it? Sorry, go ahead.
is more weight unhealthy or is less weight more unhealthy than more weight?
Any outliers are
Any
Well, which
outliers?
one is more unhealthy?
Which one?
overweight.
Overweight.
Good.
Okay. So I think we ran out of time for today. So let us end the session with our prayer. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Shanti 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 Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu Samasta Sanmangalani Santu. We'll meet next week.